Hello everyone, this is Rebecca Campbell here. I decided to make a little video, my first ever instructional video, trying to show you guys how I did the piece that I posted. That got a lot of great feedback, which I greatly appreciate. And I wanted to show you guys first of all, pardon me, I'm in my kitchen and my setup isn't very professional, but here we go. The actual piece in its entirety is, I believe, about 2 by 3 feet, and this is it right here. From above, the portion that I photographed and shared online is very small. Here's my hand, and here is where I photographed. And I'm really getting into lately photographing my alcohol inks. I like to zoom in a lot so you can really see all the magical things that happen close up. If this were hanging on a wall, it'd be hard for people to really see what's going on. All the organic designs that happen that I barely did anything to get, which I'm going to try and show you guys how, but I mean, I didn't really, I guess it was just how I poured it, but in my experiments, and it's often hard to recreate them, but what happens in the time being is fabulous in my opinion. And it does have a very topographic effect. I think ink does that, and especially this color I've been using. I'm gonna get to that now. Here is my favorite color lately. It is the Pinata Lime Green. And it's what makes these yellowy green land looking patterns. This and the, I believe this is the same thing. This is called a, which I called it in the first place, the extender. The one I was using was called an alcohol blending solution, but I think they're pretty much the same exact thing. It doesn't really tell you what chemicals are in it, but they do the same things. They just lighten it, they take it away, they allow it to dry slower. And I always have a big bottle of rubbing alcohol with me. This is the 90%, I believe. And my best friend squirt bottle. And the color I was using here I don't have today. I'm gonna use something similar. This is a Baja Blue. Maybe if it's thinned out a little, it'll look more like this turquoise color, which was also in the Pinata. Forgot the exact name of it. And I'm going to now pause for a moment and fill up my bottle with the alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and just a few drops of this blue. And then I'll show you, or try to show you how I got this, what I did to get this. So, be right back. Alright, I have my squirt bottle. I'm going to fill this up about halfway with the straight 90% rubbing alcohol. It's very stinky, the fumes are strong. I have a baby and I have to make sure it clears out before she wakes up from her nap, which is when I do stuff like this, is when she's napping. Alright, and by the way, this is my therapy. I don't know what I would do without art in my life. I'm kind of a nervous person, so I need something to distract me from all my thoughts. I just added a couple drops into this. And I'm going to shake it up. It just adds a little tint to it. And I'm doing this on the back of an old one I did that I wasn't too happy with. because this stuff isn't cheap and I can't just leave and go get more. But I was excited to do my first little movie. All right, now, as I said before, this lime green is my favorite color lately. I've also been adding this butterscotch to kind of give it a more yellow effect. The lime green is by Jacquard, and then the butterscotch is by Adrionic. Okay. Now, I'm gonna do a puddle. I like to do thick puddles with this. Just random, no real intention in where I'm going with it. And I'm gonna do the lime green, and I'm gonna do a big line of it. And I'm gonna add some of this butterscotch to make it more yellowy. Now, this is the part where you can get yourself in trouble. You gotta do it fast. You gotta almost hyperventilate. Now, as you can see, it's doing all kinds of organic patterning now. And I don't know, sometimes I mess with it too much. This is a little too green for me, so I'm gonna add a little more butterscotch. And also, it's important to leave some spots where they don't really thin out. And sometimes I'll use my finger a little bit and drag it. And blow out. It looks like fireworks sometimes. But as I was saying, I like to leave it in parts where the two colors stay together and aren't thinned out too much. So then there's some contrast, because if you don't have a lot of contrast, then it looks like just one big blended pile. And it really does some amazing things when you blow on it. But as I said, it makes you want to pass out sometimes. So I'm gonna put, before this dries over here, I'm gonna add some, and the fumes are getting pretty strong. Sometimes I might use a little brush just to move it around some and give it a different kind of look, but it's constantly changing as it's drying. This is one of the few times it's fun to watch paint dry. They always have that saying where it's like watching paint dry, but when it's alcohol ink, it's fun to watch dry. And something about the way the alcohol dries, the way it evaporates quickly, I think is what causes all the organic things to happen. I'm not gonna blow that too much because I don't wanna get rid of the contrast in the darker color. I'm gonna add some more straight alcohol. And some of this Baja Blue to kind of mimic a body of water. And as you can see over here, it's starting to dry, and it's got all these really cool textures starting to happen. I'll probably have to just pouring some more in here to get rid of this blank spot, although it's getting rid of my darker colors, which I'm not happy about. Yeah, to really see how it's gonna turn out, you have to let it dry completely before you realize what it's really gonna look like. Which doesn't take long because it's alcohol and alcohol ink. So I'm not really gonna mess with anything over here, I think. Just gonna kind of fill in the white spots. Hopefully I don't run out before I'm done with this. I might, that happens. But it's, you can also, if you don't feel like hyperventilating, you can get a can of duster and spray that, and I don't have any right now. I used my husband's bottle. Now, when the yellowish green color dries, that's when the really exciting stuff starts to happen. I'll give you a close up. As it dries, little beads of, I don't know if it's the alcohol or the ink, but it starts to bead a little bit. I'm doing a really bad job at showing you. As you can see, as it's drying, little beads are forming. Over here, I haven't really, I blew air on this a little bit, but it's all in just, all the little textures that happen are just reactions from the alcohol and the alcohol ink. The only thing about pouring the puddles on, which you gotta watch out for, is it can drip into what you've done already that you like and mess up something that you were fond of. So sometimes with alcohol inks, I have to find myself at a stopping point so I don't screw up what I got that I liked. And that happens a lot, but thank goodness they're two-sided. It's really fun to watch what happens. Like I said, I like to leave spots where the two colors mix. I've noticed that the alcohol inks, a lot of them, when you mix them purely together, two colors, they create a dark color, which is nice because, like I said, contrast is good. Otherwise, oops, see, here's what I'm talking about. It's going to ruin what I already had that I liked. Trying to stop it a little from going that way. Now the lime green is the one that really, as it's drying, causes the crackles and all the little organic designs. So as it's drying, I like to blow on it a little more to spread it out. And I will have to, getting a little lightheaded, you gotta be careful. I will have to post some zoom in spots to show you guys what it really looks like after it dries. And I gotta stop hyperventilating too much. Also, as it's drying, when you blow on it, it kind of breaks off into segments, the top layer. I don't know how all this works. It's all chemical reactions. But you blow on it, and it starts to crackle and spread. And I believe that's what caused the effect in my photo that I posted. See, now that it's drying, all the things are happening. All the organic, topographic looking parts happen now as it's drying. And I can already see that I'm actually finding some success in recreating it. I've been really drawn to these